I looked into the history, and indeed it is true. Your grandmother's grandmother, Rhaenyra, was born a Targaryen princess. And I have been thinking, could it be possible
to even consider such a thing?
She's got to find a way to win these men back over to her cause.
Yes.
Do you think they'll ever take her seriously?
Well, a big old show of force or, something like that. And probably, sadly, Daemon showing back up.
Yeah.
With his giant dragon and maybe a bunch of Riverlands forces, right?
Welcome back to the after show here on the Break Room. This episode proves that to get anyone on your side, all you need to do is give them free food. Hit that graphic.
Damn straight.
Damn straight. I'll show up for a free sandwich.
I'm gonna need more than some cabbage and carrots. Let's be honest.
No, you gotta starve him out for a couple weeks.
How many days was that food at sea?
It got dropped out just outside the bay. It wasn't
on the blockade or
They
whatever,
didn't push it away from Dragonstone.
And then just hope it.
Message in a bottle style. Yeah.
It was funny because I immediately thought Sea Smoke was gonna eat it. Sea Smoke is always just flying around over there. I was like, oh man, you better hurry up and get the food because Sea Smoke's coming.
I mean, that dog is lucky those boats showed up in time. That's all. He was looking at that dog like he was a pork chop. He was like, maybe I could eat this dog. Well, today we're talking about House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 6. Is this Dragon Rider / Dragon Seed program the right move, or should Rhaenyra double down on getting to the small folk first? Is now Daemon's time to do what's right? He'll never do what's right. And will Gwaine stop being such a little baby?
Wait, how's he being a baby?
He's being a little crybaby Gwaine.
I think Gwaine just naturally sounds like a baby.
Wow.
He's had to do some actual fighting now, and I think he's feeling bad about it.
You were always Dad's favorite.
Oh, I guess you're having a good time out here.
I'm like, being Dad's favorite got me impregnated by a bunch of men.
I got pimped out to an old man.
Yeah, thanks. I love that Gwaine.
Old Swiss cheese man. We'll get into all that and more. I'm Brandon Barrick. Joining me today, she's constantly slapping us whenever we question her actions. It's Jessica Clemons.
That is the realest sentence I've ever heard. But also,
I wrote that before the episode came out.
Yeah, that's crazy as hell. That's crazy you predicted that. Also, what was that woman say? I thought you were going to have something to the rebus. What was the lady saying? Yeah, to the dragon.
Wait, what?
Oh.
She was saying like, I can't roll my R's.
But
she was saying,
the Valerian she was saying.
She was saying it so much and beating
Obey.
that. She had that long stick, the dragon. I said, who are you shooing?
Also joining us today, he sleeps 9 hours out of every 10. It's Zach Huddleston.
I'm ready to return to more domestic pursuits.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
You know what? In that time, yeah, I would much rather be there than getting eaten by a dragon.
Also, does everyone know that Cole is banging Allison?
Yeah.
It seems like everyone knows
Constant
about it.
side eye.
What
Constant.
a life to live that you can't even get the guy that wants your feet and the guy that wants your pussy. I would be so mad if I was Allison. I'd be like, hey, you of all people that look and smell my feet better be on my side.
Yeah.
That's
You can't
crazy.
get anyone on her side.
That's crazy that the two men, and that's what happens, ladies. That's what happens when you give him a crumb. He's gonna turn back on you so quick.
It's true.
Remember that.
It's true. Well, as we do on this show here each and every week, we're going to try and avoid any book spoilers as much as possible. Anytime we talk about Fire and Blood, the source material, it'll be focused only on the changes made in the show. We're not going to have any future spoilers from the book. We're going to avoid that as much as we can, so you don't have to worry about that. Also, don't forget to check out nerdriot.shop for fun House of the Dragon-inspired merch and merch from all sorts of fandoms. Buying merch is the best way to support all 3 channels in the new Rockstars network, so check out nerdriot.shop today. All right, Jessica, kick us off with a little bit of a recap for this episode.
You got it. That was my way of doing it.
Recap.
Okay, now the dragons are out. It's all anyone can think of. Even though the Green's army is bigger, they're scared to fight without the dragons. Jason Lannister even requesting Aemon to the front.
I love how, Poncy Jason Lannister is, where he's like, I have 1,000 knights of my own. Like, Tyland's not even that fancy boy.
They made sure to keep the Lannister, essence in this.
Yeah.
They were like, no, they acted like this the entire time.
Because unlike Eric and Arik, this is one actor playing both twins.
Yes.
It's not twin actors. So I feel like the actors have a lot of fun being
Yeah.
like, when I'm Jason, I get to be...
That's how I feel about Otto. Otto is like, when I get to yell at people, I'm going to do it.
Can't wait for Otto to
can't
come
wait.
back.
Okay, I can't wait till we get to that part. I was screaming in my house. My roommate was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah! Bring my board back!" I said, "Bring my board back!" Literally, we need to make jerseys that say Hightower because I would wear one in a heartbeat. Otto needs to come back. Like,
Interesting. She aligns herself with the high towers.
you've already known that I was Team Green. Nothing's new. Well, I'm now Team Black, but we'll get into that later. Okay, we'll get into that later. Aemon does not like this. Instead, he focuses his attention on clearing the blockade, proposing a treaty with the Triarchy, which makes everyone uneasy. Also, he fires his mom from the small council.
Damn.
Tough.
I kind of like this scene. Because he did it in such it was like such a sassy, horrible way, but it was also nicer than what Aegon would have done.
I mean, I guess, like, he doesn't speak to her the whole time. Every time she tries to speak up in that meeting, he just, like, moves right past it, ignores her. Then he's like, "Mother," as the meeting's ending, which is just,
Yeah. Hey, can you stay back after class and talk to the teacher a little bit?
Then he's like, "You have to relinquish your seat, such as it was." Even being like, "What are you even doing?
Yeah,
you should have never had a seat in the first place." Which is just cold as ice.
Well, because she's
woman
not
held the realm together.
She doesn't have an official role, right? She's not Hand of the King. She's not Master of Coin or anything like that, right? She's just an advisor. I guess is Queen Dowager.
Queen
But that's
Dowager,
not
yeah.
like you don't get a seat
Right.
for being Queen Dowager.
And it's like, I don't know why I like this scene so much. I feel bad because I'm like, I should be on Alicent's side, but I'm still like, yeah, Aemon.
I mean, she's messed up a bunch, sure, but this is...
I don't think she messed up at all. I think she did sometimes. But I think this is right. The Maester was right. It was like she was here when Viserys was out.
Right.
Like she knows how to keep us back at peace. And I hate that they're like, there's no peace. And it's like, well, we could go back to it. We're acting like we can't.
Well, in a grand story of like, this is what all Civil War about, like, should a woman be allowed to ascend the throne? And it's like they've pushed every woman out of the small council that the Greens have.
True. Okay, well, I'm still here for Aemon. And Harrenhal. In Dragonstone, Rhaenyra's small council meets with Corlys as the Hand. She's looking for riders for Vermithor, Silverwing, and Sea Smoke, so she summons Sir Steffan Darkland.
My freaking guy.
I got
Damn.
it.
Is he your guy?
Yeah.
Still-
I just like that shot of him hiding the knife when
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
landing. So good.
It was very rough.
Rough week for the Darklands.
Rough ass man for the Darklands. The poor guy already had his dad killed while he was cosplaying as a Septon, but in good news is his grandmother's grandmother was a Targaryen princess.
Hey, good news. Grandma's grandma was a Targaryen.
And then when they said it, every man on the side went, don't.
Most of them were like hearing it out, but Celtigar
No,
immediately,
the guy-
he like looks over here like, "This is your idea? Come on."
Dude, it's
Come on.
not that bad of an idea.
It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea.
You also see her like almost not believing it too.
Right.
Like the face that she has. Emma Darcy is doing a great job this episode and last episode. But like that scene in particular where the actor's like, "Yeah, it's gonna work."
Yeah,
When she even tries to give him an out, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, kind of a thing.
To echo Evan, Emma Darcy is
Yeah.
going off.
Rhaenyra has to be like,
insane.
"I don't even know where to start here."
Yeah.
Like, this is the hardest thing I'm gonna ask you to do.
Because it's also that she was just taking the word of her brother. Like, of her son. He was the first one that was like, maybe we go beyond what our old rules were and look at all the bastards. And she's like, you're right. So it's like she's taking the word of like a 12-year-old.
But he's older than that.
No, I know. But that's why I'm saying I understand not having that much confidence.
They've been locked up in the library. They've been doing
Yeah.
research, staying up all night, drinking milk of the poppy, getting high as hell. No.
Whoa.
That's
But
it.
they've been cooking up this plan. They're both in agreement. And now she's like, "Oh, I got to present it to
I have to
everybody."
present it.
And they're going to think this is crazy.
But this is what is making me turn to Team Black. I'm like, she listens to her son. Her son actually has thorough ideas. They're actually a smart family. And you see how she cares about it. And Mysaria. Okay, so Steffan is doubled over in honor. He's so happy. He's so pleased. He's calling them the gods, but ends up being scorched by Sea Smoke. And it took the longest time for Sea Smoke to finally come up with a decision of, you know what, actually, this guy. Like,
I know, even kind of like bent in.
Yes.
Like, yeah, hop
That
up
was,
there.
I think that was, he knew it.
C-Smoke was
knew
gonna
exactly what
buck
they were
him
doing.
off. C-Smoke was gonna,
it was
like-
he even looks like, yeah, get on.
it was such cat work. It was this.
Well, and especially when they have to be like, even the dragon trainers are like, Darklyn, you're not saying these words right.
Yeah.
we prepped you for 30
Yeah,
minutes.
we've been working on
But
your accent.
She has to be like, Rhaenyra's like, you can't show fear. And he's like, he's tiptoeing
Yeah.
up to it, like hunched over. It's like, nah, dude.
Yeah,
Wait, do you think it was the fear that got him deep fried?
It didn't help. The fear didn't help.
Could you imagine if a horse just like bit you because it could sense your fear?
A horse would do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, we get it. You're the horse expert. You know their sex and you know this.
I mean, I can tell there's sex
I
too,
think you can tell from far away.
When they're having sex, like what they're doing.
Wait. There's a horse having sex right now. I can tell.
He's the,
To the east. To the east.
he's the horse dick whisperer.
I am going to throw myself off this roof.
Attaboy.
The stallion.
Damn.
Okay, following that disgusting thing, we're very sad that Stefan died, but also the keeper of the dragon
dragon
died as
keeper.
well. He slit
Ready
his
to
own
go.
throat. And I mean, what a weird juxtaposition right next to each other, seeing that guy slice his throat while Stefan is getting burned alive. It's like, you could have maybe handed him the knife too, do it really quick for him.
Yeah. I mean,
guess he had
Rhaenyra
to
has
do
that
it.
moment where she kind of like,
Wants to go to them?
stays for a
Yeah.
moment. I think she's like, do I help out and kill Stefan as fast
We're trying to
as I
save him. Maybe she didn't know at the
can?
time, but
I don't know. What do we think of the little sticks?
I love those little sticks. It doesn't really stop these dragons.
I think it's similar to how they train like lions and stuff in the circus, which is a bad thing. I don't agree with it, but it's like you put the fear of something into them when they're young, and you have that same object as they grow old. Because I think when they're younger and you have those sticks,
that you
it's a lot more impressive.
We saw a freaking cat-sized dragon later in the episode,
I think
right?
when you're training a young juvenile dragon with the stick, they fear the stick a little bit, and as they get older, they still kind of fear it, or they
about the
recognize it
sticks?
as like we're in command mode right now. We're trying to tell you what to do.
God, unless you're Vagar. Vagar would be like, I'm gonna eat that.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat that stick.
But I got
think
sticks falling off of me.
because like the stick's not gonna stop the dragon from doing what it
No,
wants.
of course not.
But I think it's all part of the
I
ceremony.
did. I love the detail. We haven't seen a ton of the dragon attendants necessarily.
Right.
Just in quick. This may be the longest
Yeah,
continuous
I mean they've
shot.
always been around, which is fun in this series because obviously Daenerys in Game of Thrones didn't have. No one knew how to train a dragon.
Yeah.
But even in like episode
She
one,
could have watched that movie.
She should have watched
The whole franchise, How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, it didn't exist yet.
And also, just so you know, he didn't really train the dragon well in the first movie.
No.
He kind of just fell into it.
But the first episode of season one, when we see our young Rhaenyra go ride her dragon, like the dragon keepers are there.
Yeah.
It's like they've been around.
But I love, right, like they dress differently than everybody. Like they are like almost like a religious sect,
Yeah.
right? And then just the men, because that one woman had a full head of brown hair, but like all the men have like a scorched baldness, like not a genetic trait kind of a thing. Like there's scabs. They've clearly gotten too close to dragon fire.
You get a little fire every now and then. You gotta
I
keep
love
your
it.
hair
I love
tight.
it. The combination of they've got to live in this dark ass cave. They clearly get burnt up. I mean, the workers' comp cannot be good.
How do
you
their
know?
eyes adjust so quickly? And they were stuck in the darkness at all times. Maybe their hair's also gone because it's always hot in there, so they're like, it's just like always like.
Oh yeah.
Just easy.
Got to be a good singer too.
So in other spots on Westeros, Daemon's still having those visions. This time, hey, Patty Considine,
Baby.
come back, baby.
What a shock.
Full face, Patty
Full
Considine.
face.
Didn't even have to sit through all the crazy prosthetics or anything like
how
that.
much fun! I don't want Daemon to leave Harrenhal if we get to keep having these like
Just the greatest
these
hits.
cameos.
Yeah, it's a fun camera.
The season one greatest hits coming.
I
back.
know. Yeah, we already had Millie Aycock, young Rhaenyra pop in. Now we get Patty.
Let's get the crab feeder back. Come
No,
on.
that guy, no. But I loved watching that return too because it was so nice to finally, like, to remember, like, oh yeah, this was the only person in the entire show that actually loved their partner.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was in love with their partner. And their partner died, and then they were like, we need another queen. And they're like, he's like, I'm mourning the love of my
Viserys
life.
was in love with his partner, but he was also in love with the idea of having a son even more.
I know, he was
Yeah,
because he
double
chose.
Emma Aaron
Because he
is her-
chose.
her
It was a
life.
double whammy for him.
Yeah.
Well, and I also just thinking of if we do hang out more in Harrenhal, I love that we've seen Daemon has had flashbacks to Viserys, to young Rhaenyra, to his second wife.
No, his mother. He never.
Well, his mother and his second wife
Lena.
showed up briefly.
Lena has shown up.
You know who hasn't shown up? that first wife that he may or may not have killed. We haven't seen her.
Rhea Royce.
Yeah.
He said, keep her away.
Yeah, I don't
She's
need to.
going to, and it's gonna be that horse constantly falling. It's gonna.
She's gonna show up and she's gonna be like, the bronze bitch, huh? That's what you called me, huh? All right. I'll beat your ass.
So I love that, and Patty Considine gets to swing in and just give like these super impassioned, like big dramatic Emmy-winning kind of speeches.
He already learned the lines too.
Yeah, he gets to do the same speeches he did in the first season, and he kind of in the throne room confrontation, it kind of just goes as it did the first time around.
Yeah, it's very. If you watch the scene from season 1, like in that sequence, Viserys was much angrier and yelling at him, and this one he's a little softer. And like feebler, but what I think is most interesting is like a lot of the lines that Viserys says are exactly the same as he did in season 1. And so when he gets to the part where he's like, I've decided to name an heir, like Daemon almost cuts him off with like a don't. I take this as like, this is a memory that if it is Alyce Rivers making him have these memories or whatever, I think he's relived this moment so much in his life that he knows it line by line.
He doesn't want to hear
Didn't forget a moment of it at all, because this was the last time he saw his brother before he goes away for a while, goes to the Septo. He's gone for years before he comes back. And when he does come back, Viserys is already looking like a little feebler. And I think like he knows that he walked away in this moment, or his brother sends him away in this moment. He's too proud to like ask for forgiveness or to like be contrite that like, this was the last time he saw his brother whole, and like it haunts him.
Well, and I like the contrast here with the other time he flashes back, because here he does not fix it. He just says, I don't want to have to relive this mistake I made. The next time they interact in this weird dream, whatever scenario, he does apologize.
Right.
He says, I should have been there for you when your wife died.
He has a memory that's
right?
not real. He wasn't there for a moment of Viserys crying over the bodies of Emma Aaron and his son.
There's a lot of A Christmas Carol. These are all ghosts of Daemon past, right? Like revisiting, taking him to things in his life that he regrets and he wants to do over.
Cut to Simon Strong being, come in, good man, and know me. Whatever the ghost of Christmas present says.
Yes. Then Daemon goes to Alyce Rivers, and they have this fun, great interaction where she questions if he even really wants to be king. I also love how this interaction starts, where Daemon's like, man, I feel like I'm being drugged. Do you know anything about this lady who's a witch? And Alyce is like, I don't know, I'm a witch. How would I know anything about anybody drugging you here? It's like, bro, she's obviously the one drugging you.
Maybe, we don't know. It could be Simon Strong.
I don't know. And then she calls her owl.
I don't know what's going on with you. I'm going to go assassinate somebody. I'll be right back.
That was great. I love the owl showing, because she's wearing the glove the whole time.
Yeah, she's wearing the glove.
Just good timing. And the owl has like strings on it. It's obviously an owl she keeps. But it does feel magical that she can just be like, we had a 10-minute conversation and then whoop, whoop.
Dude,
Also, there was an owl flying around the whole time.
Also, like, owls are not birds people keep traditionally. There's like falconry, right? Like when people usually have a little falcon for hunting or whatever, but like an owl, I mean, it's also, wizards and stuff like
it's
that.
common for a witch.
Yes. Yeah, it does invoke like, Merlin with Archimedes, his little owl from the animated Sword in the Stone. It also, if, Eric has kind of theorized that she's a warg and able to not turn into an animal, but see through an animal. If this is her owl that she sends out to go around so she can go scope out certain things, like, I think it's really smart.
Yeah.
That was a character in The Witcher, so they're clearly stealing from the greatest TV show.
Daemon asks Alyce for advice on dealing with the River Lords, and Alyce just asks him to wait for a few more days while she takes care of something with those Tullys.
Well, she points out that like they're gonna do whatever the Tullys say, because the Tullys, even though they're quote unquote weak leaders, right? They're smart, and they've kind of been able to keep the River Lords in check for so long. So it's like, and she says, wait 3 days, and he does die in 3 days. I don't know if she killed him or not.
Well, we're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to what's up with Alyce and what happened with the Tullys. Back in King's Landing, Larys makes a play for the hand, and damn, Daemon. Ooh, he's like, great point. Send for Grandpa.
He's like, you're right. I do need a new hand, Sir Larys Strong. And he's like, oh, but I could never. I mean, you honor me so much. He's like, not so fast.
You toad. He calls him a toad.
That scene.
So good.
I've never been so turned on in my life. That scene, I said, also because I'm like, I'm so tired of Larys. I'm like, someone kill him already. Like,
Well,
I'm literally
you
done
want
with
people
him.
to see right through him. And the fact that, like, Aegon is incapable of seeing right through him, but Aemon's just like, dude, don't even.
Well,
He even has, he's like, you think I'm stupid?
Yeah.
yes.
He's like, no.
And you know, to Aemon's credit, obviously he's still a flawed leader. We'll talk more about those flaws, but like, doesn't suffer fools.
Right.
Sees through the BS. Not like Aegon was on board for anybody that was glad handing him. Anybody that would talk nice to him or whatever, he'd be like, yeah, come on, my dumbass cronies. You can be the King's Guard.
Right.
Yeah, come on, Larys. I know you're manipulating me. You can be my hand, right? Or maybe he couldn't tell he was manipulating him. But like, Aemon sees through it, and he's all about that business. And he knows, like, even though he's butted heads with his grandfather, right? His grandfather kind of gave him a little bit of guff for being all warlike earlier in the season. But he's like, also, I know he's going to.
He knows Kristen Cole is a bad hand, and he knows Larys would be a bad hand. Larys is not a good hand. He's a good master of whisperers.
Yeah.
You don't want him as hand because Larys is looking out for number one.
Larys is a really
Larys.
good snake.
Well, and he even points out, he's like, I know. First and foremost, Otto Hightower is loyal to his family.
Yeah.
I also know you roasted your brother and dad. So
You cooked him.
You did. You did.
Yeah.
Honestly, why are people taking that into account more with him? Even being there. It's like he killed his entire family. We're not even his family. He'll just eat us. Like,
Absolutely. He will step on anybody's neck. Yeah. So, and just the way he's like, a good point, send for Otto. You do it.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, the spice.
Also, no one knows where he is.
Yeah. Also, he's not answering the phone. So Larys goes to Aegon and hard sells him on his current state being an advantage because people will underestimate him. Aegon, not sold. He mostly moans in pain.
he wants
He's
more
like,
of that
I don't
fucking-
want to live through the pain. This does, for a second you feel bad for Larys because he's like, I come into this world and my dad calls me, he blames Alice Rivers, for this like sorcery causing this problem. Everyone will underestimate you. People will either look down on you or not look at you at all, right? They'll avert your eyes. And it is sad. Like, it does make you feel...
That actor, you get a little tear rolling down the cheek.
I didn't feel bad, but I think the reason I didn't feel bad is because he's using it in not a good way. He's like, a lot of people, and I think, and I understand, it kind of mirrors what Mysaria says at the end of the episode, but I recognize it with Mysaria. I'm like, she's just struggling to survive. Larys, you're killing a bunch of people to stay above.
Right.
Like, it doesn't calculate right.
And Larys is doing this to save his own ass.
Yeah.
He's like, I had Alicent in my pocket, but she's out of power and is not going to get it back. Aemon sees right through me. He's not going to have it. Aegon was on my side. I can work him. And now we have this mutual deformity, right? We can work together. I can guide him through this because I have a perspective on how to live forward now that no one else can give him, right? So he's like, if I can get Aegon back in power and get him healthy enough to be king again, maybe I could get my standing up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. He's a player. He's always looking for his angles, right?
He is. That's all he does.
That's true. Well, we finally get a little sneaky plot workings come to fruition. Mysaria planted the seeds last episode with Alinda, but the Blacks get the small folk all riled up after a very loud conversation between Diana and Sylvia, the small folk players, if you will.
Just an audience of 6 in one tavern, and you can spark a revolution.
If you can get Ulf the White, he's a glad-hander. Everyone likes him. So it's like, if you can get him on his side. I mean, this conversation was so heavy-handed. I thought Ulf was in on it, too.
Yeah.
I thought this was like a little three-way scene that was happening. But it seems like they're winning over Ulf to the cause.
And the woman there is from the Pillow House, right? Like,
Sylvie is Aemon's main squeeze at the brothel, right? But she's also, she's friends with Diana.
Well, and clearly connected to Mysaria, right?
Connected to Mysaria. She runs all the... I take it to be she's like the main
Madame
lady who runs the Pillow House or the brothel, right? They've got this great little show they're doing. It's dinner and a show, folks.
That's right.
And if the dinner's not good, hopefully
and
the show's...
if the gruel is thin, hey, at least you're getting some good entertainment.
It's this or the fish. You don't want the fish.
I guess we could also be led to believe that maybe they pulled this off in every tavern in town.
Sure.
Right.
This is happening all over the...
They're all talking out loud at every
There's an early show and a late show. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I bring out the next couple of kids to kill each other, let's think about how bad things are.
They're partying up in the castle. Anyways,
I sent my finest ladies up there last week.
Also, the shots this show takes at seafood.
Yeah.
God damn. Fish is that bad?
You're not going to eat fish out of the LA River, right? You don't want to eat the fish out of Blackwater Bay.
I'm starving.
Yeah, but all of the poop of the city is running into Blackwater Bay.
I'm starving.
Hey,
I don't know.
That's right.
I'm starving, and my child's dying in my very weird, nice house.
Yeah. Also, King's Landing, bring the sheep in through the back door.
What?
Bring them into the city.
You
snuck the king in the box.
You
sneak the sheep
you
in the
know
box.
damn well Aemon was like, bring it through the city.
Right. And you know what's most
Let's see
messed
what
up?
they're missing.
That those sheep aren't even for the people. They're probably for the dragons.
No, they are for the dragons.
Yeah. So
Because
it's
even that guy
like-
yells, he goes, "Oh, against the dragons get meat."
Yeah.
Dragons get meat.
Dragons get eaten.
The number of people that just shout meat at different moments in this show.
Hey,
He reminded
listen.
me of Brandon on this show, this after show. Every time you do your character bit of the small folk, I'm like, that's Brandon.
I
in the
am a
audience.
small folk, ladies and gentlemen.
Mate.
I'm part of the 99%, not the 1%, okay?
I would hope I'd be.
And we want mate! Listen, you need your slogans to be catchy. You need them to be quick.
true.
Meat!
Yeah,
We want the meat!
most of small folk can't really talk because they lost their teeth. So you can
Right.
you gotta make it one word and very fast
Oh,
and quick.
we want the meat! Bring us the meat!
I have a lot of thoughts on the food in this episode, as I do every episode. I want to circle back later.
The Red Keep. We got the meat!
The mate.
Mysaria has arranged for boats of food bearing Rhaenyra's black and red dragon sigil to wash up in Blackwater Bay. Great plan. The small folk eagerly take the supplies and chant her name in the streets. They swarm Alyce and Helena when they see them leave the sept. The White Cloaks also freak out and cut off someone's hand. Alicent's like, sheath your swords, and it's like, a little too late for that plan, lady. Wait till you're in the carriage before you tell them to
They
shoot.
call her the Fish Queen, right?
Yeah. The
Oh, and
fish
then they
queen.
throw like some fish guts or
Right
something
there,
at her,
fish
right?
at her face.
Yes, dude.
Also, the immediate, I was like, they brought the food, and I was like, was their plan to make the small folk fight each other? Because they immediately were like, "Bah, give me that cabbage, bitch!"
Hugh Hammer just wailed on a random
poor
dude
guy.
to get a sack of cabbage.
That poor
Damn.
guy, cabbage. and
I
carrots.
thought the plan. I was like, oh, the plan is to make them so mad that they
Right.
destroyed the entire castle.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
this
was
is
wait.
like being at Disneyland and a new popcorn bucket drops. You see people walking around with it, and you're like, "Why'd you get that popcorn bucket? Which popcorn thing?
punch him, drag the popcorn bucket.
Look at it."
Also, all that for a sack of vegetables.
Hey,
Hey, we just said that there's no food here. Except
Yeah.
for
Also,
fish.
would there still be a cabbage shortage if they weren't draping it over Aegon's roasted ass body? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Oh
my
How
God.
much of the vegetable budget of King's Landing is going towards salving wounds?
I think
You
that
know
cabbage
that-
goes in the soup afterwards.
That's true. Someone's gonna eat it. Someone's gonna eat it.
Yeah. When Mysaria delivers this good news to Rhaenyra, they embrace and start kissing.
That was a slick embrace into kiss.
I like
because I
this
was
for
like,
them.
wait, she looks.
Just lingering.
Yeah.
Lingering.
But do you think-
Smell the neck. Just.
Yeah.
I want to believe more than anything in my world that Mysaria isn't two-timing her.
I don't think Mysaria is a smart woman.
That's why I think
And
she
she
would
knows to
be
make herself
using him.
valuable. But I think she also, I think she's like also attracted to Rhaenyra.
Yes.
I don't
That's
think
the power.
It's
the-
just shrewd.
Also, I want to call out a couple things here. The rare portrayal of an actual love triangle, where all three parts of the triangle are hooking up with the other two parts of the triangle. Okay, we use that term a lot when it's really just one person sleeping with two people. That's not a
right.
triangle. Okay,
Right.
I just
This
want to
one
let
is
that
a
know.
perfectly like.
Yes,
Though
every
at this
corner
point,
with
I don't
every
think
other.
Mysaria would give it up to Daemon.
No,
at
that's true.
all.
That's the
Well,
why
would
she's so orphaned.
Rhaenyra even give it up to Daemon?
At this point,
This
probably
triangle
not.
has just turned into a parallel street.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right. It's just a line. It's just a
It's
It's
line.
turned into a line with a dot over here.
Yeah, with a one over
Because
there.
this wasn't, this backstory for Mysaria is not in the book. And in the book, remember, there's that sequence in season 1 where Daemon's like, oh, she's pregnant with my child. Mysaria is pregnant with my child.
Interesting
Which
now that we know
adds so much more
She
weight to
can't
it.
get pregnant.
How devastating that was, because I'm sure Daemon doesn't know this backstory. I'm sure this is a secret she does not
she doesn't
tell
share it,
people.
no.
Also in the book, it was kind of implied that maybe Mysaria was pregnant with Daemon's child and like lost. There's this line where she like, it said that Mysaria like lost the child while they were at sea at one point. And it's just like really heavy to hear this story from Mysaria, who's kept a secret. And this is like her, her secret to bear, her like awfulness to bear her whole life, and it's kind of driven her to like find a place for herself and to make herself more than she ever was destined to be by this awful family she was born
And
into.
in an episode where, other than maybe Corliss, who's joined the team and seems to be putting his weight behind Rhaenyra, but like she doesn't feel a lot of support from any of her small council. Jace, she feels like doesn't trust her.
Yeah, Jace has given her so much attitude lately.
He's a teen boy. Come on.
He's acting like he's this. It's
Well, he's
the most
mad because he
normal
doesn't know
situation.
her plans, but it's like you don't have to tell him everything. You know what I mean? You're
Well,
the
I think he's
queen.
also worried about her.
Sure,
he's
I
like,
guess.
Our dad disappeared.
And you know,
Uncle Dad.
Uncle Dad disappeared.
Uncle stepdad to him.
But it is like, you know, she has to hear Jace be like, well, we need to get Daemon and Caraxes back. And she's like, you don't know what Daemon said to me. The awful things Daemon took my ass.
I agree, but it's also like we're at war.
Yes.
And I don't want him, but we need the dragon.
And I love that, right? Like Mysaria is the one person in Rhaenyra's circle who's saying both, I think you'd be a great leader, and I have a plan that doesn't involve Daemon.
Right.
Right? Like, the one thing
We don't need
Rhaenyra
him.
wants to hear. No, we can do this without Daemon.
Right.
And she's doing it. She's also a person of action. Unlike these, you know, all these lords around this table that are like, well, what if? Right?
Also, damn, girl, you look good. I like the way you carry that sword. Sorry, I knew what
She
to
did
say.
come in with the compliments.
This becomes you. She said,
This becomes you.
I'm gonna put this down.
Yeah. Ooh,
I can't
damn,
wait till next episode where she straight up was like, so what are we? What are we doing here? And it's that's the part that I'm nervous about. I was like, it's gonna be Rhaenyra that's gonna like fall for Mysaria more than Mysaria falling for her.
It's true.
And I'm like, no. And then David's gonna show back up and I'm like, no! Let them be lesbians.
Well, as they're getting intimate, my dude from the Queen's Guard, no knock,
Cockblock guard.
just
Come on.
busts right in, no knock. Just my guy. And he's got important news. Someone's been riding sea smoke around. And this is big news.
It is big news.
Important, but like a little.
Yeah, what
before
if
you
she was
bust
just
in.
like butt
Yeah,
naked standing there?
Just put spurs on those King's Guards so you hear him chuck
Little
down the hall.
bells,
You know,
right?
some
Like a
bells.
cow.
Yeah, come on, dude. Well, someone's riding around sea smoke. Could it be Adam after getting chased by sea smoke on the beach? And will Rhaena wind up riding the dragon in the Vale, this mysterious wild dragon in the Vale that Lady Erin neglected to
Failed
mention?
to
Okay,
mention.
was that a big deal? I was like, when it happened, she was like, yeah, it's a fucking wild dragon. What am I supposed to do? Like,
Well, I don't
what am supposed
know.
to do?
Maybe mention it to the family of fucking dragon
So
riders.
they come here and try to take the biggest dragon
Yeah.
and then kill me?
Or take the biggest
You
dragon
don't know.
and
You
defend
can't trust.
me.
You
Yeah.
can't trust everybody.
She can-
I'm not
listen.
gonna give you the big ass, wild ass dragon that's over here burning the ground.
Rhaenyra's mother was an Aaron, okay? So it's like you can trust the Targaryens.
I'm hoping.
Way more than you could trust the Greens.
I don't want anyone touching the dragon. I don't want even let that free wild dragon be by itself.
No, you gotta.
And
It's
also,
eating your
you know
sheep.
what's so easy? To not get involved, to not do anything, and to stay quiet, which the Vale is doing, and I respect that.
True.
Because that'd be me. I would literally sit there and be like, "Yeah, there's a wild dragon."
Also, how appropriate. We think that dragon is sheep stealer, right?
We think.
And the evidence
It's
we
eating
saw
sheep.
of that is a whole bunch of roasted ass sheep.
A whole bunch of sheep got roasted. Man, they'd love to have the roasted sheep down in King's Landing.
and
Oh,
also,
delicious.
why aren't they eating the full sheep? They leave a little bit behind.
I know they just burn it. Well, the eating habits of the dragons is interesting because that was just a burnt. We didn't even see any like. It was just the roasted dead bodies. Like, are they?
Well, you assume there's other ones
That they're scooping up, maybe,
They just
yeah.
don't like the well done ones.
Yeah.
There is a fun little thing in the movie
Rain of fire.
Reign of Fire where it's like the dragons eat ash.
Yeah.
So they burn crops and animals and eat the ash.
But this
Which
one's
is kinda
just
cute.
like kind
No,
of chewing
not-
on his favorite
I
parts.
think
of
they
Raven.
roasted it.
Rain
a
of
little
fire, not canon. To
Not
House of the
canon,
Dragon,
but it could be.
Could be. Should be.
It's the future. And finally, you know, will Alan of Hull finally confront Corlys about being related? We learned that Adam and Alan both know who their daddy is.
Yes.
And we know why Alan's been keeping a shorn skull.
I love that reveal that
Yeah.
he has to shave his head because it's coming in gray.
in the worst mirror I've ever seen in my
I know,
life.
dog. How does
Just-
he see anything in that?
Use a brick wall, my
Use
guy.
your
It doesn't matter.
imagination.
Yeah.
Just have someone tell you what you're shaving. Just be like, go to the left a little bit.
Is that the best mirror in Westeros? Does no one know what they look like?
Dude,
This
he
man lives on a fucking ship. He's on a ship.
Look at
24/7
the water.
on the land.
No, we can look at the ocean. Would be a
Thank
better
you.
Oh, yeah,
reflection.
and then sea smoke comes down and bites your neck
Wow,
off.
that's true.
That's what when sea smoke was coming, I was like, how are they not ever afraid every other time they see sea smoke? Because when we first saw sea smoke flying around Alan, I was like, I'd be scared shitless. I'd
Adam
stop.
wasn't because
Adam,
he
sorry.
looks to the sky.
Yes.
He's
I also
not-
like, I mean, I like Adam more than Alan because Alan's whole thing is like, I don't want to confront Corlys about us being his bastards. I don't want to be his like kind of unwillingly being
Right.
his first mate. Why? Just because, like, he never acknowledges till now, so I don't want to give him the advantage.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you also
pride.
chose to be in his Navy, okay? Don't act like you want nothing to do with this dude. You could have moved to Dorne or whatever if you hate it that much.
Nick Cage changing his name from Nick Coppola, right?
Oh
He's
my
like,
God.
I don't want my father's name.
I also think
I want to prove myself.
I also like that Nick Cage was like, I want to prove myself, not nepotism, and then just a Google search. A simple Google
He
search.
was also like, Daddy, can I have an agent?
Daddy, I'm gonna name my child
It was
Superman.
his aunt, but yeah. Or uncle. Uncle was Francis Ford. But okay, before we get to our favorite moments, we want to tell you about some of our sponsors today. This is truly one of my favorites. I love all of our sponsors. Okay, I don't want to pick favorites.
Equally.
But maybe my most favorite.
Okay.
I'm currently wearing it. Mando deodorant.
I
Okay.
can smell it over here.
Thank you, Mando. It's summer. It's wherever you are right now. It's probably muggy, roasty, hot, sticky, sweaty. Okay, and you need to up your deodorant game. Okay, that weak BS that might work in a February. That could even probably get you through April.
Right. We're speaking to the Northern Hemisphere right
That's
now.
right. Oh yeah. That's right. I'm talking July. July in the Northern Hemisphere. You better bring out the big guns. You need the Vagars of deodorants.
Oh, okay.
And Mando, they are the Vagar of deodorants.
Nice.
Okay, they're the WMDs. They got great scents like bourbon leather. I wear the Mount Fuji, which is a nice kind of citrusy, refreshing smell. And they're super like long lasting. They actually like have mandoleic acid is where the name Mando comes from, and it like kills the bacteria that causes bad smells. So it's like not only do you get like the nice smell of the deodorant, there's no funk underneath it. So it's not like you're just covering up your own stink with a more powerful good stink. There is no stink.
You're destroying the stink from the inside.
That's right. Also, it's aluminum free if you're worried about that stuff.
I am.
Okay. Yeah, there's bad things that aluminum can cause. Dye free, it's vegan, it's cruelty free. It's got no bad stuff. And they've got a starter pack. It's great for new customers. You get a solid stick deodorant. I love it. Cream tube deodorant. Now this is good if you want to put maybe some deodorant on other parts of your body.
I do.
Other stinky places.
Hell yeah.
Your balls.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Or if you don't have balls, other places. I don't know.
I think Aemond was wearing Mando when he was walking around naked in the pillow house.
You
That's
think
what
so?
I was smelling.
Ooh.
That's why Sylvie likes him so much.
Yeah, that beautiful, smooth, white body. They've got like mini body wash and deodorant wipes that are nice if you're on the go or in between work and going somewhere after work, all this kind of stuff. We have a discount code to help you get hooked on your favorite smelling whole body deodorant. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That's almost 40% off the starter pack cost. Use code BREAKROOM at shopmando.com, shopmando.com. Full-throated endorsement, Zach Huddleston. Smell me when you see me. You'll know what's up.
Testify, Zach.
That's wild as hell to advise people to come smell you.
He's begging you to smell him.
Crazy.
Come up, get some.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we want to talk about some of our favorite moments from this episode?
There's too many.
We mentioned a
Too
couple
many?
already. Some of the, Aemond and Laris, Aemond and Alicent.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good stuff.
I really like the Alyce Daemon back and forth.
Yeah.
That actress, the Alyce actress, every scene, it's like that portrayal could easily go like over the top if she goes like crazy big,
Right.
but she doesn't. And there's like a weird intensity that she always delivers. That's
Yeah, you
very
can't
nice.
tell if she likes Daemon and his cause, if she doesn't. And the idea, the actress that described Alice Rivers as kind of this like wood witch who's been around for hundreds of years and stuff. And if that is really true, it's fun to think of this character who is in it for the long game, but like kind of likes to see the small little movements that happen over time. And so she's hearing Daemon out and kind of trying to push him in the right direction. Like if you're gonna do this thing, you need to respect like the Riverlands and the old gods. You need to respect Rhaenyra. You need to make your decisions on what you want to do.
He's like, never. Or what did he say? He said, don't lecture me.
Yes. But
he
within
screamed there, I was like,
like
oh my God.
5 minutes, he goes from "I don't need your help" to he literally says, "I need your help."
Right.
I need your
Right.
help.
Yeah.
And that's a huge moment for Daemon.
Yeah, he's really changed a lot. He's feeling bad about how he's treated Viserys. Like he's thinking about how he's treated Rhaenyra.
He's been at a 10-day movie marathon of like all his like worst moments.
Simon
you know
Straughn's
what I mean?
like, I'm really worried you're not sleeping.
When he came to, what did he say? He said, so-and-so's dead. He said, the old man? Okay.
Okay.
Also, I just want to highlight the face that Simon Strong makes when he says that they sent Alyce to the Tully's.
Dude, our own healer did her best or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, that actor.
He's having fun. He's having fun. He loves that literally they say action because they're picking up in the middle of something that we haven't seen. Because Daemon is coming out of his like sleep every time that man has to speak. And I'm like, this is so fun for him. He's literally in the middle of talking and then he goes, wait, what are we? And he has to go correct Daemon.
I loved poor Stefan Darkland. I feel bad for him and knowing what was going to happen to him. But like, I just loved the whole sequence. And then he was so down to do it. And he was so honored. And like
the tension, it kept going.
Yeah.
Like they really stretched that out.
Yeah. And I think comparing that to like kind of see Smoke in a way, flying to Adam of Hall and being like, hey, I found you. Look at me.
You know what's funny?
I like those two together, like the juxtaposition of the two.
He's been trying to get his attention all the time. And then now that they're trying to force a random person on him, he's like, oh shit, they're going to force people on me.
I need to make my
He's
pick.
like, no, stop running. Stop running. You're going to trip. I'm coming to you.
Right.
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that every time Adam would look up and see him, that was like see Smoke courting him almost, right?
Trying to be like, come get me.
It's really interesting.
He's lovely. You remember that's what Rhaenyra said. He misses his bond with like a writer.
I also love like this show, right, still treats the dragons with a big air of mystery. Nobody on this show really knows what's up with dragons, including the dragon riders and the dragon lords or whatever, right? And I love that. And the show doesn't really explain it. We don't know why he goes to Adam and burns up Darkland, right? And like, we won't find that out. It's because they're big, weird, 1,000-year-old mysterious animals, right?
That's why I need to keep seeing those juxtapositions with like the wild ones. I'm you need to show me more wild ones because I'm used to the domesticated dragons, and the wild ones are like, fuck that, I ain't like that bitch.
Yeah, they never got trained. They don't know the commands.
Yeah, they don't know shit. They're nah, I just eat what's over in the ocean that I can reach.
Are you a bug? I don't know.
How many? That's the spin-off series that I need to get from House of the Dragon is like the small folk because I want to know how many of them die to like random wild dragons.
Yeah.
Like if they're traveling, I'm sure a wild dragon's like, I'll just eat this.
Yeah, people in the Vale. I mean, where's the shepherd for those sheep? You know what I mean? He probably gone. Did you have like a favorite moment that really stuck out to you?
There's so many. There is so many. But I do think, weirdly enough, my favorite moment was the conversation between Aemon and Alicent.
Okay.
I don't know why. It was just so interesting to be like, I think it was the like, I understand he got like bullied, especially like, remember when Aemon was so small and he was a little weird kid that couldn't get a dragon. And then he finally got Vhagar on an eye missing and like he just became mean. And I'm like, and then Alicent's eyes, it's like, this was her kid. Her kid just tried to kill her other kid.
Yeah.
When did she make her children vicious like this? And it's like, you didn't really do it. They kind of, the world did it.
That leads well into our Let Her Cook segment.
Let Her Cook.
Is there a favorite moment from Alyce?
Well,
you mentioned that.
There are there's some good scenes. One we haven't talked about, her scene with Gwaine, where we hear for the first time about the third son, who might be the good son, right?
You know, Otto, before he left, he mentioned Darren is living in
This is
Old
the
Town.
most detailed
We know
we've
now
got.
he's 10 and 6. I am 10 and 6, going on
10 and 7.
He's a player.
Yeah,
The ladies love him.
ladies.
He's
Hey,
beautiful.
he's got loot. baby.
That whole thing was so devastating. And like, Olivia Cook's face during it when she's like, is my kid okay? He doesn't write to me anymore. And at first Gwain's like, he's fine, don't worry about it. And he's like, he's beautiful. He's really nice. It's almost like he's been raised really well. I don't know what it is. And you can just kind of see it on her face like, oh, I really fucked up 3 of my kids. And the one I sent away is doing great.
He's the best.
Devastating. Yeah, her line to Aemon when she was like, she said, have the indignities of your childhood not been sufficiently avenged? It was just
And
brutal.
then he went,
And she like touches his face and like he doesn't get mad at her. And there is a second where I feel like he was like, he felt really bad and he was getting this affection from his mom who has been very cold to him, especially since what he did to Aegon, but even leading up to all that.
Yeah.
She hasn't been the same. This was the mom who was ready to cut out Jace's eye when he was a kid to defend him. And now she's been like, you know what, you're mean. You're a killer. You know, ever since he killed Luke, I think she's been very cold to him. And I think for a second he was feeling bad, but ultimately he's like, no, I don't need you.
Well, and we know he's got a lot of mommy issues,
Yeah.
right? The fact that his
growing up
favorite
with
pillow
Sylvie.
lady kind of looks like Alicent, right? And like he likes to get in the fetal position with her. There's some stuff going on, right?
He closes his eyes when they have sex because he doesn't want to imagine it's his mom. But what I was gonna say, two things. One thing was, do we remember what he said right before when she slit Alicent's when Alicent slit Rhaenyra's hand in that fight? Because he was the one that kind of stopped it. Aemon said something like, "It's okay, mother."
Oh, I got a dragon or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
it was a good trade. I lost an eye and got a dragon.
Yeah, and I was like, from that day going forward, that's when it was bred to be a fucking
he's cold as ice.
A cold ass
ice
kid.
in his veins.
Cold ass kid. Second thing that I was gonna question, which we might bring up, and if we are, just stop me.
Okay.
Helena, she said this bird has stopped singing.
Oh, the cricket had stopped singing.
The cricket has stopped singing.
But I know why the caged cricket sing.
There's always some double meaning behind her stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to think about that one. I'm not sure yet what she means exactly by this one cricket has stopped singing. Isn't that
Well,
odd?
could that mean something about Aegon's about to die? Aegon's dragon maybe dying?
I was trying to count how many crickets she had or whatever they had because I was like, oh, is it a child that's about to die?
A child, or is it just representing Alicent, all of her?
Oh, she's just died.
Happiness
on the inside.
is gone,
Yeah,
and she's she is caged. She's in her gilded cage of the Red Keep. She can't leave. They're not gonna let her leave.
Or the small folk. The small folk are they're not on our side.
They hate her.
Anymore.
Yeah, she can't go outside. She's gonna have a hard time going to the Sept anymore, right? Her favorite place to go. Yeah. She's gonna be stuck in this castle where she has no power whatsoever. No one likes her.
It is probably their allies. They're
Right.
our allies are leaving. They're stopped singing. They're done.
Mm.
I can't wait to see what Eric writes.
If we don't see those damn lions get out of those cages and do some battle, I'm gonna be pissed.
I know.
Okay, don't you dare tease me with fighting lions. House of the Dragon.
There's no point when there's dragons.
I know.
Just like the Vale when they were like, we have wolves. I was like, there's a wild dragon eating sheep outside your door.
That poor house at the Golden Tooth, they're like, we got 500 men, we better get moving, supplies are running low, and Jason Lannister's not. I got about 8,000 people, we're gonna stick right here for a little while till the dragon
We're gonna
shows
camp
up.
out.
We're
Yeah.
gonna use up all your resources and, probably not be kind to the people who live in your village.
Absolutely
All right, let's get into some of our main questions from this episode. Let's start with Rhaenyra. Can she win this war without Daemon, right? We see her and Mysaria make a major move this episode, despite the repeated mentions that she doesn't really have an army, right? Also, don't forget, Rhaenyra is really struggling with her own council. She slapped Lord Bartimus Celtigar. She's having a hard time with most of her council, though, right? She sent Alfred Broom off to Harrenhal to go check on Daemon to see what he's up to. Lord Staunton's probably back at Rook's Rest, dealing with the aftermath of all that. He's probably pissed. Celtigar, she slaps, right? Could she do this all? Could she have a council that's just Corlys's hand, Jace, and Mysaria? Is that enough, or does she need these other men to be on the council?
And Baela's there too, right? Yeah.
Right. Baela's there too, but she's not officially on the council.
Yeah.
anymore.
I don't think she needs those men on the council, but she does still need an army.
She needs their
regardless.
armies and stuff.
So I think, and that's the only way you can shut these men up is to keep them on the council.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you took them off the council, they would be like, well, I'm taking my armies.
She has Lord Massey on the council too. He's the one that's usually kind of laughing and the most drunk. And I believe it's his daughter, Alinda, who's the one she sent back to King's Landing to meet with Diana.
Her handmaiden?
Yeah, because she's not a servant. She is she's a lady in waiting. She's of the Massey family, the royal Massey family. So I don't know if that is Gordon Massey's daughter, if he knows that she's off in King's Landing
doing spy missions.
Yeah, kind of doing this underground work. But do we think she could cut out these other men from her council and just do it on her own, or she's gonna need a bigger council?
Yeah,
right? She needs she's got to find a way to win these men back over to her cause.
Yes.
Do you think they'll ever take her seriously?
Well, a big old show of force, or something like that, and probably, sadly, Daemon showing back up.
Yeah.
With his giant dragon and maybe a bunch of Riverlands forces, right?
It also seems like even if they don't take her seriously, they still sat there. They have not been taking her seriously this entire time, and they're still there. They're still seated because there's nowhere they can go.
Well, they're kind of screwed.
That's why I'm like, you gotta stay here regardless.
But she keeps trying to be like, hey, let me go out there on my dragon. They're like, no, you can't go.
That's why I think eventually she will grow the confidence and courage to be like, it doesn't fucking matter what I do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna choose what I'm gonna do because you're gonna stay here regardless. Because if you leave, they're gonna kill you out there. So what's going on here?
Are they gonna find it weird when Mysaria is sitting on her lap the whole time?
Hey baby, what you doing? Hey baby, come on over here.
Come on, girl. Come on, sit on my lap.
And don't go to my room without knocking.
New rule at Dragonstone: we knock before we enter any room. You wait 3 seconds, and then another.
Just so I make sure I heard it the first time.
And this just came to me for no reason whatsoever. If there's a silk stocking tied on the doorknob, do not enter.
Do not enter.
If this castle's a rockin', you better be a knockin'.
Not begin.
Also, let's push all the beds together in all the rooms. What about that, huh? You all cool with that?
So
Great.
You guys were saying that she probably needs Daemon. Do you think that I mean, obviously Rhaenyra needs an army right now, right? Is there a way that
She's
this
a land
works?
army, yeah.
A land army. Is there a way that this works without the Harrenhal and the river forces or the Riverlands? What do you guys think? Like, part of getting Daemon back is to get that army.
We got, from the very first moments of this season, we got them graybeards coming from the north.
Right.
That's true. Yeah.
Right? It takes forever because they got to come a long way and they're old guys. But, I mean, when they show up and then you got the Vale, you got the...
You own the siege,
twins.
Right? Well, the twins, yeah. You have a way of getting your men down as fast as you can. The Greybeards marching with Stark,
And then you have the sea already.
Yeah, you have the ocean. You get some, the Riverlands, the men on your side. You do have to worry about Otto Hightower because he's building a little army of his own.
Yeah.
They kind of mentioned it briefly. I do like the House Beesbury is kind of giving them a hard go.
Yeah.
Because they're still pissed about their lord being killed at the hands of Sir Christian Cole, but while he was serving on the Green Council.
Yeah.
But we don't know where the Hightower...
He's the guy that had his face shoved into the ball, right?
Yeah, Christian Cole told him, sit down. A little too hard.
Was that the night after Rhaenyra?
That was the night that Viserys died, and before Rhaenyra even knew what was going on, they were kind of moving.
And he was like, point of order.
Because he was more mad about something else that made him slay.
Well, he was just mad that they were kind of doing all this. Not properly.
Underhanded.
Following the rules.
And he'd always been the tut-tutter in the council.
Yeah. And Kristen Cole told him to sit down.
I remember that scene.
hard.
And also, I mean, I'd be testy too, because I'd be like, first off, that's a horrible, rude way to go.
Yeah.
You slammed my man's head on a table.
Right. So I think the biggest thing that Rhaenyra really needs Daemon for is Caraxes, right?
Yeah.
If they want to take on Vhagar, they need any big old dragon they have. And Caraxes, now that Alyce is dead, is the oldest dragon with a rider right now. Because
certainly the most battle tested too. Yeah.
Vermithor and Silverwing, they were the dragons of Jaehaerys, the Conciliator, and his wife Alicent. Now those dragons didn't see a lot of war either. Like they just flew around because they were hatched with those two people. But they are older dragons and they're big, so they could be very helpful.
This is the games that they're playing right now are so interesting because the blacks are basically just playing Monopoly. They're like, I need as many people as I can get.
Yeah.
We need every person from the Riverlands to over here. But then the greens are just like, well, we have Vhagar.
They've got Vhagar. They've got
They
the
got a
most
bunch
money
of men.
too.
They have money and they have men.
And
They
big
have
armies.
all the strong money, all the Lannister
But if
money.
they can't keep up with, and this is where I love the political stuff getting involved. If they don't have the food to even feed the
Right.
soldiers, that's when you're fucked.
Yeah.
And if Lannister has a lot of men and is coming through with a bunch of
Right.
people,
How you gonna feed all of them?
you're gonna be able to feed them all.
Well, they're going to be, I think they kind of hinted it here, and we were joking about it. Like the Lannisters camping out at the Golden Tooth for a while, they're going to use up all the resources there. People are going to be like, they're going to turn to the crown and be like, you need to repay us.
Yeah.
Or find a way to make us whole again. And the crown's writing IOUs all over the place right now.
War's expensive.
Yeah.
War's expensive, 100%. Also, I started laughing because I thought about if I was Mysaria and Rhaenyra, I'd be banging on that map table when the candles go under it and it lights up.
Oh, you mean
hot?
No, it'd be a little warm at the
little
beginning,
warm?
and then we gotta get off real quick.
I thought you meant banging like this, but you mean
No, I meant
banging like
I
that.
meant that.
Like that.
Ooh, mama.
We're doing this with our long gowns.
Yeah, baby.
How it takes them probably forever to get out of those gowns. Those gowns are insane.
Yeah.
I think you just got to go over the top.
Oh my god.
Turn that hat around backwards, go over the top.
That's right.
Heck yeah,
You gotta stay in the gown and
I
find a
can.
way to make it work.
I
You know what I
can,
mean? Okay. Also, on that note, we want to thank one of our other sponsors, Kalshi. Kalshi is the first legal financial exchange in the U.S. where you can bet on any event, including what Rotten Tomato scores are going to be for big theatrical releases. It works like this: you buy a share of something for a price under $1. For example, Deadpool and Wolverine's Rotten Tomato score, will it be above 84? that's currently trading at 62 cents. You pay 62 cents. If it comes in above 84, you win $1. If it comes in under, you don't win anything. But also if it goes up from 62 cents to 80 cents, you can sell before the Tomatoes score even comes out and get a profit. It's kind of like fantasy football, only for entertainment industry. They also have other stuff like geopolitics and
climate,
all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we producer Evan and I are always looking. I just went in on the Blink Twice Rotten Tomato score being above 60. Oh, that's the Channing Tatum movie directed by Zoe Kravitz. I like that trailer. I think that score is going to be high. I got a good price on it.
Okay.
Evan, you have gone in on Twisters, which will...
I'm in on Twisters too, which by the time this comes out, we will know how we did or not.
We'll be sharing on Slack what we received from Call Sheet.
But I recently bought some shares on Dune Part 2 winning 3 or more Oscars.
Ooh.
Which I think is good. I like that.
Even just the technical categories will probably clean up.
Sweep the technicals.
You can check out some of the things they have, their offerings, by clicking the link in this video's description. Make a deposit of $50, and the first 500 traders get a free $20 credit.
Traders?
Traders, not tours, like we'd have on House of the Dragon. Yeah, and then finally, the only thing is good is smelling good, is getting a good night's sleep. And we want to thank our sponsor, Helix Sleep, for helping us get a good night's sleep. Helix offers 20 unique mattresses, including the award-winning Luxe and the ultra-premium Elite collections. Helix Plus for big and tall sleepers, and the Helix Kids mattresses. If you're not sure what mattress to get, don't worry. Helix's sleep quiz makes getting the perfect mattress so easy. You just take the quiz, and Helix finds the perfect mattress for you. They deliver your mattress right to your door with free shipping in the U.S. The mattress comes rolled up in a box. It's kind of fun. You undo the plastic around the box, and the mattress slowly expands. Gross. And it's cool. They have a 100-night sleep trial, so you really get to test that guy out and make sure you're sleeping good and feeling good. Plus, Helix mattresses have a 10-year warranty, and with Helix financing options and flexible payment plans, a great night's sleep is never far away. We love our Helix mattresses, and we think you will too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out Helix Sleep. Their 4th of July sale is still running.
Yeah, deep into best deal day.
Deep into July, yeah.
Come on.
It's going to be Labor Day before you know it. Upgrade your sleep with 30% off an Elite or a Luxe mattress, plus 2 free pillows, or take 25% off site-wide. Click the link below or go to helixsleep.com/breakroom to find out more about this limited time offer.
Got to get Daemon a Helix sleep mattress.
He's not sleeping good.
It won't help him.
He's not sleeping good. They do not have a Weirwood model at Helix Sleep.
Oh, he's going to lay on it and be like, I keep going to sleep because it's so nice, but then I have nightmares.
Another question we have is, how far are they going to keep going with this Dragon Rider program, right?
Why are we calling it that? A Dragon Rider program?
We're calling it a Dragon Rider program.
An internship?
Yeah. We won't get into book spoilers again, and we think some things might be changing on the show from the book, but, they've introduced a lot of side characters of no noble lineage, but no noble status right now, right? We have Hugh Hammer, we have Ulf the White, who both seem like they have Targaryen blood inside them. We've met Adam and Alan, and we now have confirmed that they are Corlys's bastard children, right? So how far do you think we're going to go with this? Do we think all of them will get a dragon at some point?
I think they're going to test it. And I think Sea Smoke clearly only wants black riders. So me... It's good to know that you're wanted in a universe like Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Should we call Adam and Alan the Rough Riders?
Oh my God! It would be.
Stop.
It would
Burn
be
them up,
me.
open up,
The thing is, and that's why
Dracarys.
you're walking around with your. Also, okay, first off, really quick side bit. I keep forgetting that Sunfire has a little necklace. Sunfire has like a little heart necklace around her little neck. The dragon, because have you not seen it? When you zoom in closer, you see her little.
Is that like part of the saddle or whatever?
Yeah, but it's so cute. It's like a
that
little
is
necklace.
cute.
Okay, but anyways, if they gave me the opportunity to ride a dragon, I am gonna get that dragon, and I'm not gonna fight in the war. I'm gonna take it.
You're gonna fly away.
Yeah, I'm
Go
gonna
back to old Valeria and hang out.
I think they're gonna now. As soon as she heard someone's riding Sea Smoke, she said, "Okay, so there's more out there." I think what's gonna happen, she's gonna be mad that Corlys didn't say anything. I think because it's not in the papers, it's not in the works. It's a new bastard.
And that's a great point. They also were not targeting bastards. They were targeting nobles with a little bit of Targaryen blood in them. Maybe this lets the program pivot. Oh, we were doing it the wrong way. These great-great-grandma was a Targaryen. That ain't going to cut it.
out.
Let's go to like your daddy was a Targaryen or a Valerian, right? Like let's pivot that direction. Yeah.
I think she's going to try, as soon as they find out that, which I only assume it's that poor man, because Seasmoke's been wandering around him forever and chased him down, and a dragon chasing down someone could have ate him before he reached the woods. It clearly is not trying to attack. If Seasmoke was going to attack,
shooting out fire.
No,
right.
That's why I was like, if a dragon was going to attack, it would have attacked. We saw him do it to Stefan. This one wants.
Seasmoke is getting there as fast as he can. Be like, my God,
they're going to put
this guy on my back. Where all this armor is crazy. I don't know.
It was weird. He came out of nowhere. They started saying Dracarys, but I
They're
didn't.
singing a song, and I was like, I don't want to do this.
They got the sticks.
They got the sticks out. They used to beat me with those sticks when I was a kid.
Yeah, and also the crazy thing is the fact that he could just immediately probably get on this dragon and just like fly, because they're like, we saw him flying with it.
But
I
already know he's up in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's the green light for Rhaenyra to be like, okay, we need to try them all out.
Yeah.
Now we have little baby Rhaena. She's up in the Vale right now. She's about to get sent back to Pentos, somewhere she didn't seem like she wanted to go. You know, little Joffrey's like, I miss my mommy, and Rhaena's like, bitch, I don't want to hear it right now about that. You know what I mean?
She did straight up. She's holding out poor baby's head.
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna say, yeah, I miss her too. She was like, well,
my mommy burned herself alive. Also, she's got to be like, hey, we're important too, just because they sent us away. Like that speech she's given,
we're
like,
the side characters.
Little baby Joffrey. It is interesting because at this point in the book, Joffrey's older and Jace is younger. Like it's very weird. Like they've definitely messed with the ages of these kids.
Again,
in interesting
the
ways.
book is also like a rough.
Yeah, the book is like,
rough
they're
telling.
having kids at 12, and then like.
This one's fat.
Yeah, they're all fat. All the women are fat. It's really rude in the books.
Fat.
It's rude in the books. But we do have Rhaena being like, hey, you've got a riderless dragon around here. Rhaena, remember, wanted to hop on the back of Vhagar. Like, she's not afraid of a big dragon. Like, she wanted to ride Vhagar, and Aemon stole it. That led to the whole eye thing.
Yeah. Well, it's her mom's dragon.
Corlys had that line of, like, she's tried all the dragons in Dragonstone, and it hasn't worked. Part of me was like, has she tried, or was Corlys being like, with Rhaenyra saying, like, you try and it either works or you die.
Also, what was the timeline? Was Seasmoke available?
No, Rhaenyra was still around at that time.
So like she didn't try.
Yeah, we
that
don't know if
dragon,
she's tried
right?
Sea Smoke.
She
The way
could've tried
Corlys
her
said that,
brother's
I feel
dragon.
like Corlys said it in a weird way of like, I'm not risking my
No,
granddaughter.
100%. That's what it was. He was like, I don't want my granddaughter to die from this.
Right.
I don't want this because you do die. I do trust what Rhaenyra said.
So we don't know whether she's tried or not, but like now we have this dragon in the Vale that is riderless, never been ridden before, never been tamed. It's wild. You have, the maesters guessing as to its behavior. Lady Erin says like, the maesters think it's eating the sheep because it's venturing out from its normal hunting grounds, blah, 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 blah. Do we think Rhaena might take a shot at that dragon?
Oh, yeah.
Might as well. There's nothing else to live for. No offense.
Yeah.
But
She's super depressed.
I literally at that point was like, my family has thrown me away because I can't ride a dragon.
Yeah.
Not thrown, but like I'm casted to literally babysit my like.
I got the all pair job.
Yeah,
heading
because
to
I
Pentos.
can't. But like she knows it's in her blood, her family's blood. Like all of them are dragon
She
riders.
wants
except
to
for
ride a
Corlys.
dragon.
Yeah.
She wants to. So she's probably as soon as she said wild, she went, alas.
Yeah.
Alas.
You also, I mean, I forget sometimes it's like, oh yeah, that's Daemon's daughter.
I always
That's why, like,
forget.
her and her sister also got that badass in them,
Yeah.
right?
That's
Like,
true.
they want to be
Yeah.
out there fighting. They're
That's true.
fighters.
And
right?
Baela was like, I'm of blood and fire, not salt.
Yeah, dude.
Salt and
I'm
seed,
not
so.
meant to be at home. I'm not meant for domestic matters. I'm out there to be taking heads.
Allison said, well, I'm gonna go wash a dish, I guess.
Other question: did Alyce kill Grover Tully?
Okay.
We are certainly led to believe. She calls the shot. She's
Yeah.
like, dude's gonna die in 3 days. She disappears. Dude does die in 3 days.
Yeah.
I think all signs point to yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem like that. But why kill? What's her reason for killing Grover?
Well,
Tully?
because we have met grandson, right? Like we've met the younger Tully.
Oscar. Tully, yeah.
Yes. Snuffleupagus Tully is not too far away, okay? But we've met Oscar. Now, Daemon was a dick to Oscar.
Right.
Right? He was like, you're a kid, your feeble grandfather is the real
He was
son."
like, hey, we don't always have to do what our lords tell us to do.
Yes. And what did he say? Why don't you grab a pillow and get your inheritance
Snuff him
moving?
out or something.
So in theory, we're gonna.
But that kid's also scared of Daemon.
Yes.
And
Who isn't?
if Daemon rolls up and is like, "Hey, let's go,"
But the end game must be in Alyce's brain, like, well, but at least you can deal with this kid. You
Yeah.
can cut a deal with him. You can talk to him. You know, old Tully was so far gone that like he wasn't going to strike any alliances or anything like that, right? So that's the hope of like, oh, okay, now the game is afoot, and
Yeah.
now we can start making moves.
maybe
right?
Alyce thinks too. If I kill off Grover Tully, Oscar comes in. Daemon is able to get Oscar to get the River Lords together and go back to King's Landing, blah, blah, blah. Maybe she's thinking this will just get Daemon out of Harrenhal.
There's probably some of that. Also, like a united Riverlands is better than the infighting
Right.
and war crimes that are currently taking place in the Riverlands, right? Like, I bet there's also, don't you think almost all small folk or all of the people that aren't nobles, they also want this war over.
Sure.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Right? Like the war's bad. The war ongoing is bad for almost everybody. And so it's like, whoever's going to win, let's get to it.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think Alyce has said before, right? This is always bad for the women and the small folk and
yeah.
everyone. They're the ones who get hurt. And she's protecting the Riverland. She's protecting her little grove of weirwood trees. She's protecting this
Harrenhal.
area,
Makes me love
Harrenhal.
her so much.
So she's like, yeah, get out of here and like let him be. Also, I think she thinks the Targaryens, you know, the crown is aligned with the faith. That happened because of Jaehaerys, the conciliator, right? You know, they let it be, but the Targaryens don't believe that stuff, right? Alicent believes it 100%. And so I think Alice Rivers' move here is like, if, you know, Rhaenyra takes back King's Landing, yes, the faith will still exist, but like they won't come and hunt down the old gods and the people who believe them. I think she's afraid that if the Greens continue to be in power, they're gonna like push the faith even harder on everybody, and especially the River Lords, and it's not gonna be good for us because we don't believe that stuff.
They like the old gods.
Yeah.
Okay, should we move on here, close out with our blur power rankings? Which
Okay.
side's up, which side's down? BLUR. B standing for blood.
Blood.
Not a lot of killing or blood in this episode. A dude got his hand cut off in King's Landing.
That's right.
Man, the small folk might come up again.
Yeah.
Grover Tully got killed off screen.
That killed off screen, sure. Is it
kind of a wash?
Stefan Darkland, not a lot of blood, boiling blood, maybe.
Certainly a
I
death.
think that's the closest
That was,
to
a
the death
that was an
we got.
own goal right
Yeah,
there.
that was a
Oh wait, no, dude, the guy, the knight that got literally torn apart by the small folk.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Is that some,
was
King's
that-
Guard?
They said the name, it was like Eligort or something like that. Was that one of
the
Aegon's
doofuses?
buddies?
Ooh,
That's
hope.
what I was thinking that. I think it might be.
But Alicent's not going to go out in town with Aegon's buddies.
Well, but if she's going out with 10
She was
guys.
just trying to leave.
Yeah.
She was just trying to survive.
So maybe we say there's a couple.
A lot of own goals. A lot of own goals.
Yeah, so maybe
RIP
that's-
to the King's Guard and Queen's Guard.
So
Going
maybe
down hard.
that's even. L, lust. And boy, with a bullet. The blacks.
Hey.
Okay?
Yeah.
Hey,
With a bullet.
Alicent used to rank up a lot of lust for the Greens, but she's not getting any.
No, it's gone cold
and
over
the thing
there.
is,
Yeah.
she got nothing in return. But Mysaria and Rhaenyra,
Yeah.
they're finding something in
Hey,
return.
come on. Let's hope they both get good things.
Let's
in
hope
the
she got a
future.
few O's.
No,
out of
they
it, I
get
hope.
okay. They know how to give each other O's. They're fine. They're good to go.
Yeah.
They are strapped and ready.
The O's are good to go.
The O's
Hey,
are good
yo.
to go.
I mean,
we got our own whaling tower
I
here at
bet
King's Landing.
Mysaria was running those pillow houses. She knows what's
She
up.
knows.
Okay,
She knows
what's
her
up.
way around
Also,
the corner.
Rhaenyra had some wild oats back in the day. Okay,
Yeah.
she got out there when she was with Krista Cole and other people. So like they both might be a lot of fun. That's all I'm gonna say. And then Unity. Who's building alliances here?
Okay.
You know, there's some good movement on both sides.
Yeah.
Corlys is at the table now.
Yeah, dude.
Mysaria is winning over the small folk in King's Landing. But also for the Greens, we're bringing Otto back.
Right.
Right? We've got the Lannisters descending, you know.
So I think you have Kristen Cole is being forced to do something he doesn't want to do. He doesn't like Aemond anymore. Their little alliance.
Allison shoved out. Yeah.
All the council's like, are you really want to do the triarchy? You really
Yeah.
want to talk to them?
Yeah.
I mean, bringing in the Triarchy is insane. These are like bloodthirsty pirates. And they have a good point. Like, if you let them be a part of our naval force, they're going to show up in Blackwater Bay and they're going to want to come into town. And who knows what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Like,
They're gonna
that
eat
stuff.
all of our cabbage.
Yeah, and even though I think the Black Council is a little tough on Rhaenyra, I think her inner council is on her side.
I mean,
And
do
they
you
have
think,
a lot of unity?
Do you
right
think
now.
do you think putting a heavy hand on homeboy actually like wins some
I think he
points?
liked it. I think he went back to his room.
I mean, hey, she
She
said,
said, "I'm about to not knock."
he was
and
like,
walk
I'm
said,
away."
going to
have
talk
I-
back to her all the time.
have I erred on not making you fear me? Ooh,
And
what
then she
a
said,
line.
behind his back, she said, "He's lucky I didn't take his tongue." I was like, ooh, just like her dad. Just like her dad. I'll take your top.
Yeah.
And then finally, repartee, which we've already talked about. Who had the best lines? Again, Alicent and Aemon exchanging some nice barbs.
Even Aemon's. I think Aemon had like a good 3 for 3 because he called him a toad. That line was so good. Even the part of him being like, "Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not my fucking brother. I'm not an idiot. I know what you're doing."
I think this is like a rare, or not rare. They've had a lot of good lines, especially like Alicent's been dropping some good ones lately. So I think Green's coming through with a lot better.
Like, even like Grand Maester Orwell had some great lines of being like, you know, when he comes in with the news, like, oh, the king's doing better, and Aemon is clearly not pleased about it. He had some good lines to shut him down. And then even later when, like, Alicent was hanging out in Aegon's room, and, like, Orwell comes in, and he's like, you know, he's going to have a hard road ahead, but I think he might make it, and things might be better. You know, he might come to. And then when Alicent's like, okay, what's his quality of life when he does come to? And he just doesn't say anything. He's just like, well, that's not my problem.
If they killed this poor man, eventually, I'm gonna be so upset because he has been there. I'll be so upset because I'm like, this poor man has had to like duck under every radar of everybody.
And has been like even-handed the entire time, right? Like he's never sold anybody out or doesn't seem to be in it for himself. Luckily, Maesters usually do. We've seen a lot of Maesters die of old age on this show or in Game of Thrones.
It's more so I don't trust that entire family.
Yes,
like it's gonna be Aegon or Aemon just out of anger or weirdness is gonna accidentally get.
I mean, he has to basically stop Aemon from like killing Aegon in his own room. You know what I mean? He has to be like, hey, what's going on in here?
Hey, get out of here.
Hey, get that pillow off his face.
So again, maybe kind of a close call this week, but maybe like. Obviously, the very last beat, Blacks might be up. Yeah. But, like, I have a strong Green episode,
I think the Blacks are up, especially sending that food to the poor people. Even having the poor people have to fight over the food was enough to be like, well,
Alicent and Helena getting, like, shook in the city. That's big. And, like, they've basically created a bomb where you've locked all these people in. And it's that Rorschach.
And they're locked in with them. Yeah. Right?
I will say the only downside is as of right now, we don't know if they lost or gained a dragon.
Yeah.
Or kept the dragon.
We don't know Sunfire's status completely. Yeah. We know he's like in the woods outside of Rook's Rest still, but we don't know.
Sunfire?
Yeah.
Sunfire is, wait, which one is Rhaenyra's dragon?
Caraxes.
Or no, that's Daemon.
Syrax.
Wait, is Syrax?
Syrax is Rhaenyra's dragon.
Syrax is the one that has the little necklace. That's what I meant to say. Syrax has the little necklace. I thought it was Sunfire. Who's Sunfire's?
Sunfire is Aegon's dragon.
This shit is pissing me off. And then I got so mad that they named even those characters Adam and Alan. I was like, I'm getting everybody mixed up. The dragons are ruining me. I can only remember
Get
Vagar.
on the phone. We got complaints.
I can only... Yeah, George, I'm the top one. I'm the only one, actually. It's only I only know Caraxes and Vagar, because I'm like, those are the ones that are...
They're the big boys. Or girls, or whatever. We get a lot of comments about us gendering these dragons. Right? I want a dragon gender reveal party. You know what I mean?
Vagar's
we just drop an egg.
Lady.
It turns out pink or blue.
Vagar's an old lady, and Caraxes is like a white boy.
Oh, with the long neck? Yeah, or a red boy.
Oh, I meant white boy just because it acts like a jock and an idiot. It's like a bully. It's like a bully.
He's got a deviated septum from doing too much coke.
Yo, had a fun time.
Him and Daemon would be like doing.
He's the Robert Downey Jr. of the show. You know what I mean? Too much fun in the 80s.
I will say this is probably the first move, right, since Rook's Rest, like the first major move that we've seen on screen from either side, like sending in the food.
Yeah, that was a big move.
Yeah, because it's not an aggressive move, but it's like the first big kind of response.
Very strategic.
And we were talking, right, like typically in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, penultimate episodes are the big ones.
Yeah.
It's the one before the finale. We have 2 episodes left.
2 episodes.
So next week, 2 episodes left?
Yeah, next week, do we get a big battle?
Maybe this series loves to do big battles.
Can I ask for something? I want a sea battle. I want to see Corlys out there with Adam. I want to see this triarchy.
The ship's almost ready to go.
I want to see
the ship's
He's been teasing this ship getting repaired.
This is going to be so boring to go watch a bunch of men at sea fighting. It's
watch Commander.
Will it? I think they could do it cool, maybe. What if dragons and ships?
A tsunami will hit. I don't know. It's just going to be a storm.
I'm just worried about the budget, man. I'm just worried about the budget. Can it take it?
This episode, I was like, they are putting too much money.
Daylight dragons are expensive.
They were, because they had him chasing down that man in broad daylight. I kept thinking about the money during that entire scene. I was like, they're chasing. And then they got her jumping on her dragon, flying out. They got the baby dragons. I was like, y'all need to stop.
Yeah, and also sea Smoke won't come out of bed for like less than 10K a day, right?
Yeah.
Right, dog.
Yeah.
Like Linda Evangelista.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
That's a
that.
deep cut. Okay.
The drag queens, the people of the drag, will love and understand what you just said. Will love and understand what you just said. I don't think there's going to be a battle next episode. But I do want to second that. Okay. I think
you
it's
do
gonna
or
be
don't?
I don't think it is.
Oh,
because
save it for the finale.
we have to finish finding the dragon riders, and then the battle happens.
Yeah, I hear you on that. And it does feel like we still got pieces we're putting in place, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, but if we can get some new dragon riders, and I want to buy I want that too. But if we could get new dragon riders,
that makes
and
more
like
sense.
I want a 4 or 5 dragon battle, dude. Come on.
We're gonna get I think by next episode we will have at least 2 new dragon riders.
I want to see dragons flying in formation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, flying
You
V.
can't get them that close; they'll bite each other.
Yeah.
I just want to see him dance.
Oh, when are we gonna get this
Dance of
Dance of the
Dragons.
Dragons already?
I'll tell you right now, if one of those dragons want me as a dragon rider, they are only learning how to dance. I'm also gonna be. I told my roommate I was like, I'm gonna be painting their toenails too. I'm gonna be like, we're gonna match our little sets.
Well, that's it for us today. Make sure to subscribe to the Breakroom channel right here on YouTube and give us a follow on Twitch where we do videos like this live. Make sure to follow at Breakroom and R on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, and Twitch. We'll catch you next time. Latest Dracarys. Goodbye.
Rebes, or whatever they said.